economic solar system, which is our blueprint for unprecedented economic development, we believe that, like the sun that sits in the center and all other planets revolving around it, the sun represents the core life force upon which all other planets depend and provides a backbone to support life. We decided on this analogy because it represents a perfect balance and harmony of what it is like when things work well. It gives credibility, predictability, and structure in how we approach things. The core sectors. The idea is that the core sectors provide the backbone and effectively are the sun. They provide the resource and the impetus upon which we build a strong and resilient economy. So you can imagine how crucial the decision is as to which sectors fall into this core sector category, and upon which a stimulus budget must focus quite keenly. Agriculture. Agriculture may seem like a no-brainer. However, as much as it must occupy, agriculture has to occupy a core focus. Due to its low entry barriers, it has the capacity to lift millions out of poverty within a few years. Needless to say that a weak agricultural sector threatens so many facets of our economy, and not just the economy, but our social and cultural fiber as well. A nation that is not self-sufficient in its food requirement cannot be truly independent and cannot be truly secure. With our strategic positioning in the region and our ideal climate for agriculture, Zambia can and should be the breadbasket of the region. With this position, we would be in a position to negotiate more favorable terms in trade policies and other regional programs and initiatives. Increased agricultural productivity will provide the bedrock for value addition industries to process these agricultural commodities. With agriculture, the potential for export is massive, thereby generating sufficient foreign currency to strengthen our local currency. This will have the effect of lowering the cost of imported goods and services and improving our balance of trade position. Energy. We have identified energy as a sector that is not just a strategic support sector to other economic sectors, but as a productive sector in its own right. The sector has been earmarked as a potential foreign currency generating sector. Zambia can leverage its climate and location to be a net exporter of energy while meeting its own domestic requirements. Mining and mineral resources. With the vast mineral resources of our country, we as the New Heritage Party will endeavor to ensure that Zambian ownership and participation increases significantly. We also believe that diversification must continue to happen, not just in other sectors, but even within the mining and mineral resources sector. And that we need to look at the agreements that we structure in order to ensure that the country realizes more from the sector. We've also identified financial services sector as a sector that is key to our economic development. We believe that until we can drive a financial services sector that feeds our other economic sectors with appropriate finance, we will not be catalyzing our other sectors as we should. The sector has been identified as one that generates and mobilizes resources not just for the medium and for the long term. This is true for sectors such as long-term insurance and other financial products that can attract capital into the economy. There's absolutely no reason why Zambia, like say Mauritius or Botswana, cannot be a competitive financial services sector. We've also looked at the location of Zambia as a competitive advantage that we have not harnessed enough. We depend on ports such as Dar es Salaam, Walvis Bay, and others for entry of goods, products into our country. However, I believe that as a country that we can do more to make use of our geographical location. This is a transit route for cargo and people within the Southern African region. In fact, within the Southern African region, we need to do more in terms of infrastructural development to ensure that the trucks and other routes, the truck routes and other routes that we have are not just used as truck routes, but are actually used as feeder into other economic sectors. We have value addition sectors, which are manufacturing, construction and infrastructure, tourism, wholesale and retail trade. We believe that value addition has to be an area that we look at if we want to feature as a significant economy in Africa and on the global stage. We believe that we have to look at value addition because therein lies the capacity to increase employment of skilled labor at a massive level. Manufacturing is the main hub of industrialization, technological innovation, and productivity growth. It holds greatest potential for transforming Zambia's economy from low income, low productivity activities and value added activities to higher productivity, higher value add and higher income activities needed to achieve inclusion and sustainable growth. Construction and infrastructure is a sector that can provide strong backward linkages to production of primary inputs like concrete, steel, timber, aggregates, and composites. In the process, the sector will be a source of massive employment for skilled and unskilled workers. At this point, when we talk about the construction and infrastructure sector, we recognize that particularly in this sector, there is a percentage that has been retained for Zambian participation, and we commend this. However, we believe that this participation cannot be actualized without a very deliberate intervention to be backed by financial and other resources, including technological resources and know-how to make that participation real, to make that participation sustainable in the long run. We need to look at that. Tourism. This is a song that we've sang for a very long time. Tourism is a sector that provides low-hanging fruit for anybody who's been around the country. They recognize that the potential is significant. We need the creativity, and we have the creativity. We have the people with those innovative ideas to ensure that we unleash that potential. There needs to be aggression in marketing, aggression in branding and rebranding our sector. The New Heritage Party will seek to drive non-traditional tourism such as business, sports, film, cultural tourism in order to explore the full potential of our tourism sector. Wholesale and retail trade. The wholesale and retail trade sector, including the sale of motor vehicles, is by far the largest contributor to the Zambian economy. It is characterized by high-end supermarket chains on one end and low-end makeshift stores on the other end. The sector has a great potential to lift millions out of poverty by creating readily accessible retail markets for local producers of goods. A well-developed sector with significant participation of local products will reduce foreign currency pressures. We also have the sectors we call enablers in our solar system, and these are education. I've alluded to this earlier. We expect a better quality education for our children, and not just formal learning, but life skills and vocational training to prepare them for work. Issues of absenteeism, dropouts, inadequate teachers limited training facilities, especially for these STEM subjects, continues to dog the sector. It is clear that there is an urgent need for an overhaul of our education sector to ensure that the quality of our graduates is world-class. We are operating on a global stage, and we need to have the education that enables our learners and our graduates to speak on that global stage. Health. A healthy population is critical to the improved productivity of our country. They say a healthy nation is a wealthy nation. We reduce downtime, we reduce the expenditure on health resources, and in order to do this, we're in dire need of significant investment in the sector. We've got to get to the place where we have reduced the incidence of diseases and ill health. Technological investment and medical administration needs to be enhanced to make healthcare services more efficient, affordable, and accessible by all Zambians and not a select few. ICT. ICT is receiving growing attention from development practitioners, policymakers, government officials, and civil society organizations in Zambia. ICTs need to be adopted for efficient administration of government services and creation of value in all sectors. We're all aware that artificial intelligence has become the buzzword for any growing economy. And in order to improve efficiency of all the sectors in our economy, this is something that has to take a critical component, lots of strategic thinking for the new Heritage Party in order to drive efficiency and reduction in costs without compromising access to employment and access to entrepreneurial opportunities for our people. In fact, it has to be one of the areas that our people can drive competitive advantage in every sector. And now, the Heritage Party is all about empowering the Zambians and marrying them to this wealth of their nation.